Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to do something slightly different. I'm going to rate my top 5 prop trading firms at the moment based on challenges. So I know lots of prop firms do different models to how to get funded. Some do like a scaling plan where you start off with, let's say, $25,000, and every time you pass the criteria, it doubles, and therefore you get onto a much bigger account in a period of time. But sometimes these are subscription based, and really that doesn't work for me. So I'm looking at the challenge and verification process where you pay a one-off fee. You do a two-phase process, so you hit a target in a challenge model and a verification model, and therefore get fully funded on the account size that you choose. There are so many prop trading firms out there at the moment that I couldn't even begin to rank all of them. So I've chosen 5 that I've either got personal experience with or I believe are emerging onto the market at the moment who could be challenging those top spot in the next 6 months to 12 months. So before we get going on rating these prop firms, please hit the subscribe button, comment down below on what your thoughts are on whether you think you agree with my ratings, and as always, give the video a nice big thumbs up. So I'm rating and ranking these based on my own personal experience, where I've actually taken the challenge with them in the past, gone through the whole process of challenge verification and got funded, and also listening to what other traders have been saying on chat, on forums, etc. So trying to build up my own opinion on all of them. Now everyone's going to have their own different opinion, whether they've had a positive or a negative experience, and therefore that might sway some of their own personal rankings and scorings. So let's jump into it and have a look at how I've rated them. Okay, so here we have my ranking criteria. I'm going to be looking at the reputation of the company, how long they've been established for, what the perceived opinion is amongst traders, the cost of doing a challenge, customer services, how quickly do they respond to queries by the actual traders, passing objectives, what is the actual percentage of getting through phase 1 and phase 2, as well as drawdowns, and client dashboards, what are the metrics like, and how can we report on our own progress with the challenges. So the 5 contenders I've chosen are Funding Talent, the Funded Trader, FTMO, the Prop Trading, and My Forex Funds. Again, this list is only the 5 that I've got personal experience with or I'm actually looking to do challenges with. And again, this could be easily expanded out to 10, 15, 20 other prop trading firms, but I don't want to get into the whole ranking them based on what I believe or what I've read with no personal experience of them. So personally, I feel the reputation of the prop trading firm is really key when choosing one of these. I think it ranks quite highly. How long have they been established? What is their history of their payouts? Do they actually pay out on time? And do they change their criteria to make it harder for traders? We've seen that recently with some of the prop firms changing all sorts of things to make it a little bit more difficult. So I've ranked this with number 1, FTMO. They've obviously been well established. They have a big reputation of giving payouts all the time. My Forex Funds, the same thing, got a good reputation, and I've seen not much negativity about them. Funding Talent, obviously they're slipping down this rating a little bit based on where they've had a lot of problems with their servers recently, and obviously then taking off gold and trading indices. Now that may change in the future, and they may be able to bring that back. But again, I think their reputation has taken a bit of a hit over the past few weeks. Now, the prop trading, they've only established since February this year, and they've had a real rocky road, especially around their customer service and their support. So there's been a lot of negativity voiced at them, where people thought they were a scam company starting off. They're now starting to find their feet, but again, their reputation is building, but it's nowhere near as high as the others. Now, the Funded Trader have only been going for probably a few months now. Now, they are starting to build a reputation. They're getting payouts on time to traders. But again, as all these things, it's how long have you been going? If you've only been going for a few months, it's going to take a while to build that reputation to start climbing up this leaderboard. Now, I've broken down the cost here based on the comparatives based on a $100,000 challenge, which seems to be the most popular one that people go for. So number 1 is My Forex Funds and the Prop Trading. They both come in at $499 to take on the challenge. Second, Funded Trader at $549. Originally they were $499. They obviously put a price increase after the first few weeks, but again, it's still pretty competitive compared to some of the others. Funding Talent coming in at $620. And last on the list is FTMO. Now this does fluctuate slightly based on exchange rates, but currently that comes in at $633 to take a $100,000 challenge. So you can see it's a spread around about $130 between the top and the bottom, which isn't huge when you consider some of the benefits you're getting of getting a $100,000 account. And with all of these, you do get the fee refunded when you actually pass the challenge and get a successful month of trading. So customer service is always key with any company. If you aren't getting what you want from when you ask a question of them, you're always going to have a bad negative experience. Now, when things go wrong, how quickly do they respond? Do they have like literally an online chat where you can actually speak to a live person and actually get a response very quickly? Are there Discord or Telegram chat options where you can actually reach out to people, as well as getting support from people in the community? Now, I believe FTMO are the best at the customer services. I've had no problems whatsoever. You can go to the website and have a live chat and get a response very, very quickly, or send in an email query, and normally for me, I'm getting a response within a couple of hours, no more than a day to get a response or a query out of them. Now, Funding Talent is based on my own personal experience. I've had no issues at all with them, with their customer services. Now, this is going back a few months. It may have changed as they've got bigger and bigger. But again, I've never had an issue with Funding Talent. Every time I've sent an email, yes, they're based in Canada. I've taken a few hours with a time delay, but I've always had a response back, and it's always been pretty positive. Now, I've rated my Forex funds as number 3 because I've got no personal experience of their actual customer services, but from what I've read, people are saying they're actually pretty good and do respond very quickly. Coming at number 4 is the Funded Trader. Now, they've only been going a little while, so I think they're still building up their customer service team behind the scenes, but their Discord and Telegram chat options are pretty good and they give lots of information. Now, I have heard a few negative things around Discord channel, is where people are commenting and saying things about them or the program. They are being kicked off and removed. Whether that's because they breach of rules or they didn't like what they were saying is one thing, but again, you need to take on all positive and negative feedback and respond to that to make sure that your customer service team are able to adapt and make the whole program better. Now, finally, the prop trading, I would say their customer services historically has been the worst of all of them. Now, they started off in February with a huge boom in people taking up the program, and they just didn't anticipate or able to cope with the amount of queries coming in. And although it's got better, it's still not fantastic. Now, although they're based in Australia, and therefore the time zones don't work for everybody, they are still having many days delay in responding to people's queries. Now, that isn't great when you're obviously waiting for logon details to get in through your next phases, and obviously you could be literally missing out on some trades. So I still think they have a long way to go in getting their customer service up and running, but they have made significant progress since when they launched in February and March. Okay, so here we have the passing objectives, and this really is how easy or how difficult it is to pass through the phases. Now, I've broken it down into phase 1 and phase 2, the profit objectives you need to meet, as well as the daily drawdown and the max drawdown. So coming at number 1, we have Funding Talent and the prop trading. So they have a first target objective of 8% in 30 days and 4% in 60 days on the verification. Now, obviously the daily drawdown is 5% and the max drawdown is 10%. Number 2, my Forex funds, they have an 8% in the first phase, which is obviously the same as Funding Talent and the prop trading, but it's 5% in the second phase. And obviously their daily drawdowns are 5% and 12% of a max drawdown, which is pretty big to go through any max drawdown, so therefore you can cover off any real significant string of losses. Number 3 is the Funded Trader. Now, they have a 10% and a 5% objective in the phase 1 and phase 2, a 6% daily drawdown and a 12% max. So they've had the biggest drawdown on a daily and maximum basis. And finally, FTMO, obviously they've been consistent with their objective since I've been using them, which is well over a year. And that is to reach 10% in the first phase and 5% in verification, and 5% daily drawdown, 10% max loss. So for a lot of traders, they'd really like to see their dashboard and their metrics. It's a real nice way of seeing a graphical way of seeing how they're progressing against the percentages, as well as also being able to see if they're violating any rules on the drawdown daily or maximum. It's also a good way to actually log a lot of the trades that are coming through. You also see some trends. Are you trading long or short majority of your trades, or are you trading one particular currency pair or instrument more than the others, and be able to see how profitable you are against it? So it's really good to deep dive and see how you're actually trading. So number 1 for me, FTMO, they've had a very consistent dashboard for a very long period of time. They have everything I think you really need to see, and it just looks fantastic. The Funded Trader have obviously done a lot of work recently in providing a new dashboard. It could be on par with FTMO or better, but again, it's just how you use it and how you interact with it. I still think FTMO is number 1, so that's why I put in the Funded Trader number 2. My Forex funds coming in number 3. Again, I have no concerns what they're reporting on their dashboards. Number 4, Funding Talent. Now, when I've used them in the past, the dashboards have been pretty awful. It literally is a very poor line chart that says this is your profit going up, and I think as traders you know how to track your profit, and that chart and graph was pretty awful. So the prop trading coming at number 5. Now they have no dashboard metrics at the moment when I'm recording this video, but they have announced recently they are going to be providing one soon. So currently you have to link in with MyFXBook, which I don't think is a fantastic way of tracking all of the stats. It's not very interactive, it's not very live. Whereas the new dashboard will have all of the metrics you need, so you can really see your progress and tracking, especially on your daily drawdown and max drawdown. So here we have my overall ranking of the top 5, which I'll be looking to trade with and do challenges with in the next few months. Now, no criteria has been giving any specific weighting above any of the others. So, example, if you feel that the best price and passing the lower criteria will be more beneficial to you, and you're not so worried about customer service and support, then definitely when you look at the prop trading, they would rank right up at the top. But my top 5 would be my Forex funds, just because they've been consistent across the board. They have great price, great objectives to pass, and they've got the rest of the things in place to be able to support you as a trader. FTMO, obviously they've ranked slightly lower, purely based on they have the higher costs and the objectives are more difficult to pass than the rest of the prop firms on this list. So number 3 is Funding Talent. Now I think their reputation's taken a huge hit in recent weeks based on the technology implementation they've tried to put in place. Although the objective was to make it better, it actually made it worse, and also the delays and lags on being able to place trades was awful, and a lot of people were having the arbitrage rules kicked in and therefore being kicked off the program. So I think the reputation's taking a bit of a dent. It may come back in the next couple of months, but as always, we remember all of the negative things much more than the positives they've put in place. The prop trading coming number 4, I think primarily based on their customer support has not been fantastic. And again, they don't have the dashboards right now. Those things are improving and getting better literally on a weekly basis, but there is still a long way to go for them, I believe. Although the funded trader comes in last, this is no reflection on what they're achieving currently. This all comes down to the reputation, because they've only been going for a couple of months. Once their reputation is able to build, we can see more payouts coming from them, and they start to grow as a company and put more customer services behind the scenes, then I do think they'll start climbing this leaderboard pretty quickly. So there you have it, the top 5 prop firms as I rate them based on the challenge criteria. Now my Forex funds comes at number 1, and I'll be looking to sign up with them pretty soon. Now, please comment below if you agree or disagree with this list, or whether you've actually got funding with these prop firms and what your personal experience is. So yeah, it's definitely an exciting time to be a prop trader right now, and I'm really looking forward to the journey ahead and getting more funded challenges with the rest of these on the list. See you again soon. Cheers.